You are listening to episode 37 of the Underhook Show. My name is Steve, as always, alongside my co-host Chris. Chris, how you doing on this Wednesday night?
Pretty good. Chilling in Hoth right now. Uh, but other than that, man, good. Just watched a good episode of Dynamite. Ready to talk about it with you as always, my friend.
Yeah, we're kind of getting back into our usual swing of the weekly Dynamite discussion, sprinkling in any other things we watched after our end cap show last week, getting back on track. Which, by the way, if you haven't heard the year-end awards episode, go check that one out in the archives. We had a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah, it was awesome.
But it's all the fanfare has come and gone. We're back into 2026 pro wrestling, man. So let's get into it. I think before talking about Dynamite, we do our usual. Have you watched anything else around the world lately?
I watched a little bit of Collision. No, I did watch Collision, I should say. And then I actually did watch Drew McIntyre beat Cody Rhodes on a random episode of SmackDown.
We could start there. I didn't watch anything from that SmackDown, but I did watch a WWE match. Oh, excuse me. I watched two of them, actually. I watched the women's tag team title match from Raw on my way to watching Punk versus Braun. I don't know if you watched either of those.
I saw Punk versus Braun, and I saw AJ and Gunther.
Yeah, that's on the list. I've just heard like unanimous great things about it, and it's like you can't get that wrong, right? It's AJ and Gunther.
Bruh, it was good. I can't wait to watch it. We talk about it.
Yeah, I'm up to like January 10th worldwide right now.
You're
No
getting there,
WCW.
see,
Yeah, no, back in the swing now that I did my stopgap. I'll plug that at the end of the episode. Yeah, Punk Braun I thought was actually good. I would have shaved off like 5 minutes and like all the interference stuff personally. But I thought it was a good old man Punk performance, man. Like that was a worthy TV main event. So
I feel like they are trying with this one though, because they're giving him all the young guys. That's what he wanted, you know.
yeah. Oh, well, I mean, he's got Finn Balor next week. He's not exactly young, but it's
Yeah.
fresh. It's a
Hey,
fresh
yeah.
matchup.
Okay. Young slash because he did mention he wanted to fight Finn. So I mean,
Yeah, so it's like, but it's like, yeah, I know what you mean. It's a little bit more ambitious than just this kind of Seth Rollins Jey Uso vortex. So we'll see. With the women's tag title match, I didn't mind it. I just think I expected more when you see like Asuka and Io anchoring each team. But I feel like that, like for what they do, they just make them go like they like wrestle at like 0.75 compared to what they're capable of.
yeah.
But so I don't have much to say on that one. But before we get to our little collision roundup, I'll throw some match recommendations out there from the last week ish. CMLL's had a great start. Both Arena Mexico, like the big tags from the 3rd and the 6th. I didn't get to the show on the 10th yet, or the 9th rather. Mystico's doing his thing to start the year, man, and his feud with Sobrano Jr. has been awesome. And then on the Tuesday show last week, it was like 2/3 of El Sky team against Los Guerreros Laguneros, and that's like the safest match you can run in the world right now. It's always awesome. I did want to bring up someone I mentioned last week, also in Mexico, not in CMLL. El Hijo del Fishman is at it again with his eternal rival Mascara Sagrada, and there was another spot where he found a box full of glass.
Yeah, dude.
And on top of that, they did a spot where he bent a push broom out of shape, choked his opponent with that, and then whacked the ref in the head with the push brooms. Yep, Fishmon's back. We are back, and I'm very, very excited about that.
I did just see that Persephone and Dorada got signed, right?
Yeah, dual contracts.
Okay.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. I know they're very high on both of them. We could tell with Dorada too. Like he was getting the big pay-per-view spots and all that, but he's incredible, and I hope people see the whole picture now. Like, because I'm gonna have him very high on my top 100, like top 5, arguably, and a lot of that has to do with the stuff in Mexico compared to the AEW stuff took him a while to get used to the ropes and everything. Sometimes your opponents aren't going to click, but yeah, Dorada's awesome. And there's a reason why they're so forward on getting him on TV more and more. Persephone, I just need to see more of. I'll be real.
Yes. For what I did see of her, she wasn't too bad. Showcase her a little bit more than maybe.
And that's actually a great segue to my takeaways from Collision. which were actually the two like kind of lucha based matches. El Clone, dude.
Shout out.
I think Commander once again 2 for 2 on Collision. The El Clone debut, good showcase match. Rez can pretty much do it all though if you're not familiar with his work.
I think that one move should have been his finishing move, though. The move he used for his signature move should have been his signature move.
It was like the Last of the Dragon, but like he like hooked the one leg.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was sick.
that was dope.
Man.
I think for now they're just gonna have him do the portal bomb though to build to this hologram match.
Yeah, I think Hologram's coming back soon.
Yeah, I hope so, man. Because he feel like he's just been stop start like in the last year, but he's fucking awesome. AEW getting the Lucha Fireworks guys on the indies, like between at the time it was Black Taurus, Aramis, and Arez. Now Hologram, El Clone, and the Beast Mortos. Having that in your back pocket for a show like Collision especially is perfect. So I can't wait to see more of what they do with El Clone. Because again, Arez can do it all. He's great on the mat. He could do all the high spot stuff. So looking forward to that. And before I talk about the TNT title match, that opening match with the Death Riders and Skyflight was a lot of fun.
That was hard.
Yeah,
anything with Singlet Hawk, man, I'm signing me up. As we're gonna talk about
some great bullshit in that match. Yuta taking Danielson's I have till 5. That popped me, and then there was some sort of miscommunication where somebody was not ready for a dive. So I believe it was Pac and Yuta. They just kept doing a crisscross.
I don't remember that spot. I have to go back.
It was hilarious. They just kept running out, but yeah, fun little trios there. Dude, Briscoe Hechicero rocked.
Oh yeah, that shit was hard. I think when I texted you, I said watch Collision. You said that was on your list.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good. Like, I also love that they are showcasing Brody King more now, even if it's in squash matches. I miss the good art of a squash match.
Yeah. I mean, shut up. For real, I'm always here for a good squash, and it was a good way to get Honest John out of the picture for the title match.
Well, I'll talk about on Collision.
Oh yeah, he had the standby match on Collision.
Yeah.
My bad.
He had a match about with a guy named Barrett Brown that lasted 20. I literally blinked and the match was over because my buddy Josh was here and it's like, oh, Brody's on, and it's over.
Okay, I must have glossed over that because I've been. Essentially, aside from like stuff that we cover in Wrestle Kingdom, I've been just finding stuff that looks cool and zeroing in on that. That probably didn't have a cage match listing because it was 20 seconds, so that's my mistake.
Oh yeah, no, I'm just looking at the sheet for Collision, and I could remember, and I remember that was on, and I laughed so hard. It wasn't as good as the one tonight, but it was good.
Yeah, no, I mean, Brody King squash I'm always here for. The only other things I wanted to talk about before we get into Dynamite, there's going to be some really exciting crossover in CMLL this weekend. I don't know if you saw any of this.
I've seen Roddy's going to be there, right?
He's doing Friday and Saturday. I cannot wait for both matches. So let me pull up these cards real quick.
Yeah, I think I saw another one. I just couldn't remember. I know I've seen Roddy was on, and the winner gets Claudio match against Claudio, right, or something of that nature.
Depending on how they do, who's wrestling or in the weight classes, I saw someone saying they're teasing an Andrade defense, which sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just remember hearing something about it.
Yeah. So this is Fridays. So, Soberano Jr. and El Barbaro Cavernario versus Gates of Agony. Soberano Jr. is probably like the best Rudo right now. And Barb is he's awesome. I don't know if you've ever seen him, but he's got like the caveman thing going on.
Kind of.
He's a beast.
I can't be 100%.
He does the splash to the floor from the top. So,
winning.
Against Gates of Agony.
Oh, yeah.
Our guys. Then a Blue Panther Ultimo Guerrero match. Like 110 combined ring age there, and they're just so good still. Like the old masters, they're just so good.
Just never cut the mullet, Ultimo Guerrero, because you're just stay true to the mullet.
He's got like the side fade right now with the mullet.
Yeah, I saw him. He's the only one I remember from like back then because I can remember the hair.
Yeah. Then semi-main Hechicero versus Roderick Strong.
Yeah,
you're right. This is a number one contenders match.
That's what I thought I read somewhere.
And then a main event, Ricochet versus Teton.
Teton. Haven't seen him in
Yes.
a while.
Yeah, so Ricochet main eventing a Friday night show.
Is that with the belt?
I don't believe so. Then Saturday, Lee Moriarty versus Jelua, which is a rematch from Death Before Dishonor for the pure title. So ton of mat-based stuff, both really good at that, obviously. That's going to be awesome. Then Defunto versus Roderick Strong. Defunto is in a faction called the Galleon Fantasma, like the ghost ship. And he's like a mummy, essentially.
Yeah, it's
Not
awesome.
like Mecha Mummy, but like different kind of mummy. But dude, he rolls too. Then they're doing Los Hermanos Chavez versus The Demand, which is Volador Jr., Angel de Oro, and Niebla Roja. And main event on Saturday is Mystico and Mascara Dorada against Bandito and Commander.
Yeah.
So, like, these cards look awesome. I cannot wait.
It's just a CMLL Underhook show is what it's called.
Yeah, and I think it's funny, too, because AAA has their big show on Saturday, so I think there's some... I don't want to call it counter programming, but like, yeah. I don't know, bringing in some of AEW's best that weekend. It certainly doesn't hurt
business at that point. Hurt people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. By the way, we'll talk about it when we get to the tag, but it really sucks that Lashley's out right now because I need the Hurt Syndicate versus Davis and Doyle.
My new favorite tag team.
Yesterday, yeah. I need it yesterday. Okay, all that out of the way. AEW Dynamite Maximum Carnage edition, which I don't really know where they're pulling from there. Is that like cross promotion with anything?
I thought it was at one point, and now it's just they're just sticking with it.
It makes me think of Carnage from Marv.
That's where
DC.
That's why I said I'm like it's really weird because like Maximum Carnage is the Super Nintendo game, so like make that make sense.
Yeah, or like you know what? I'm thinking of the Absolute Carnage.
Well, Maximum Carnage is it's a Marvel game, Super Nintendo, one of my favorite games. So, but maybe
who knows?
It's a sweet name for something, though.
Yeah. So, it made me think of Carnage from Marvel. But regardless, AEW Dynamite Maximum Carnage coming from Phoenix, Arizona at the Phoenix, Arizona Financial Theater. Very cool room. I kind of like when they do the amphitheater look. They obviously had some room to play with between the connecting ramp and then that like the gap between the barricades and the seats. It almost looked like the soccer fields that have a racetrack around them, like a running track. But that's neither here nor there.
I'm a fan of the long ramp, like WCW style.
Yeah. That being said, we open with a pre-tape from Samoa Joe, and a Samoa Joe promo. Always welcome in these parts, but he did something that we've needed for a while now, and they got Brian Keith out of purgatory.
I texted you right when this show started, and I said, this is for the dogs, because... My lord. I heard Brian Keith and I said, what? Yeah, let's go. Let's fucking go. I don't care if he's going to lose. Let's go.
Yeah. So, Brian Keith being hired to take out Hangman Page later tonight. So, opening contest, Darby Allin versus Pac. This was a makeup for their Continental Classic match. And if you kind of look at how they set everything up, this looks like they took whatever the plans were for their C2 match, because you had Renee doing the kind of sideline correspondent thing, which I love. I think they should do it more often.
She only does it for the Death Riders because she's a Death Rider. Or Death Rider.
Well, she usually does it for Continental Championship matches.
Yeah, but
which happens to be...
I've only noticed her only doing it during the Continental Classic matches, but for Death Riders.
Okay.
Maybe she could have did it other times, but I swear, my brain was just focused on that for some reason.
The one time that stood out to me when she did it was Kingston versus Danielson. It'll be 2 years ago now, if you could believe that. But makes everything just feel bigger and more legit. But that was the first part of it. But Pac saying he didn't want anybody at ringside with him, I'm like, oh, this is the Continental Classic match, because you can't do that in the tournament.
Yeah, makes sense.
Obviously, they would do a little twist on that with a run-in, but for the time being, it's Darby Pac one-on-one, no seconds. And it took no seconds for this thing to start. Because Darby said, I haven't had a big TV match like this in a while, so fuck it. we're doing everything here.
He said, no one got to see us in the Continental Classic. We're going to do our Continental Classic match. Bring out the steel stairs.
The crazy thing about this, too, they got all this shit in the crowd out of the way early, which, don't get me wrong, that was awesome. I couldn't even tell you how high that coffin drop was.
I couldn't see it.
Right. I mean, yeah, that's the only thing. That was the only downside. Like, the lighting over there was kind of shady, but literally. But AW kind of uses the picture-in-picture to their advantage in these situations where if they do a big spot in the crowd, they'll cut to commercial or picture-in-picture, and then use that to get the match back to the ring, which I personally don't mind. I've praised it before. But they made the distinction that the match didn't actually start yet. So they did not cut to commercial at all during this. And I was like, oh, that's a very cool production choice, you know? Because they could have easily just been like, oh, like, what's chaos here? We got to get this under control. We'll be back. They didn't do that. They said, this match hasn't started yet. We don't know what the fuck's happening.
They said, you got to wait till you see these 6 spots first.
Yeah, let's talk about it, man. The whip on that belly to belly. Holy fuck.
He put some stank on it.
Mm-hmm.
I said, he hates him. I was like, Pac hates Darby. There's just the only way I could think about it.
Extra mustard on that one.
Jesus.
And Darby must have like a punch card for the chiropractor. Because until they started doing the like the limb work later into the match, it just looked like he said, let's test the limits of my lumbar tonight.
He said, all right, listen, you're going to belly to belly on these steel steps and put some stank on it. And then later on, you're going to border toss me out of the ring onto the ramp.
That was just flat out awesome bomb, man. That was fantastic.
Flat out in like 10-minute time frame that I'm talking.
Yeah, this match didn't go too long. I think the segment felt longer just because of the entrances and then all the crowd brawling. But the fact that he did like a coffin drop off of a very high place before any of this is wild to me. And he goes, fuck it, let me do it onto the apron one time.
Yeah, one good time. And then again, later on, he did it to the floor, too. I was like, sir, stop. You're spamming the finishers here. Stop it.
Yeah, so you get all the car crash stuff with this, obviously. It's a Darby Allin match. What's awesome, though, with the second half of the match was how they kind of got it grounded into where you still cared about the outcome. Pac starts targeting, starts wrestling smarter, I would say. Still getting sympathy on Darby Allin after all this stuff. Then they do the failed run-in, and it's like, Pac could have had this match in the bag. Everything blows up in his face. Darby uses Pac taking the ref out of the equation to Pillmanize the leg, and then he wins. And just like, really smart stuff. And it's hard to say that, you know, when it's like, oh, smart stuff when he's just doing all the Demolition Derby stuff. But no, I think that they got this nice balance of all the ultra violence, but then in the back half of the match, it was a bit more thought out. I thought this was fantastic. This is probably the best match I've watched this year besides the Tanahashi retirement, and a front runner for, I guess, if you want to say like TV match of the year. It's very early days. I'm not going to be throwing out of the year very much, but at least as far as what I've seen in 2026, this is up there for the very top.
Great opener. Solid opener.
Yeah.
Put that stank on that belly to belly.
Yeah, dude. It seems like, you know, it's not unlike Darby to start the year with just something really depraved. If you remember a couple years ago, the Takeshita match, where he took the Chaos Theory on the ramp.
Anytime I think of Darby, I just think of the power bomb in the body bag from Brian Keith. That one will forever haunt me.
Yeah. I just hope we get a full year of him. I don't know what the issue was.
Not wrestling like this, we ain't.
I don't know what his issue was in the tournament, though, that took him out. They never really disclosed it. I'm assuming it was a concussion of some sort.
I think that's what they were leaning more towards, was concussion, because the way that he landed.
And it's rare these days that those injuries don't get out, you know? So that's why I was a little concerned, because I've said it plenty of times, I'll say it again. 2 people, I think, in AEW that will automatically improve your TV when they're healthy are Darby Allin and Orange Cassidy. Perfect case here. This opener was fantastic. I think this was the best thing on the show. The only thing I want to ask you is, where do you go from here with Darby? Because I feel like this was the kind of blow-off with the Death Riders. He beat everybody else.
Do you put him back in the... No, Briscoe as a TNT champion, so you wouldn't do that, I guess.
Ricochet
Maybe Ricochet.
for the national.
Or, I mean, goes against Mox again for the Continental, maybe? I don't know.
Darby Moxley with no interference. It's strange because they're still kind of in this place where Mox feels like a babyface and the rest of the faction feel like heels. So I don't know how you work that out. I think you could just be like, "Hey, I want a shot at your belt," and like we'd all be happy with that. But that's the interesting one. This felt like a definitive close to a very long feud. Like, I
I
mean, this
mean,
has been going on since what, August?
if you in playing armchair quarterback here, if you put Darby against Mox, I want the belt. I want your belt. Boom. That you could kind of wean that into the Death Riders turning on Mox, and then Darby. That's how you get Darby to trust Mox. You know what I'm saying? If
Hmm.
that. So I mean, maybe you do it that way, but
The only other thing I could think of is if he wants to challenge for the world title, but that is a very, very crowded scene right now.
yeah, that's you got
You got a lot
Hangman,
of mouths to feed
Swerve,
there, man.
Omega,
Yeah,
Samoa Joe.
which we'll get to pretty soon. We got to talk about the Hangman Brian Keith match though.
No, there's one specific match that I can't wait to talk.
Oh yeah, Hangman Adam Page versus Brian Keith. We're just rolling here with matches, which great. Not a lot of bullshit in this first hour. Not a lot of bullshit on the show in general. Even if I don't know about you, I prefer the first hour to the second.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Speaking of no bullshit, Hangman Page versus Brian Keith. This was a no bullshit television wrestling match, man. This was awesome.
This was for the dogs for sure. Love Brian Keith. Wish he came out to still tipping though.
Yeah, you're throwing the money around for everybody else. Get still tipping, man. But regardless, you kind of knew what to expect, and I'm glad they ran this back because I believe the last time they wrestled it was right before All Out in 2023. That Dynamite before Punk got fired, but he wasn't fired yet.
Okay.
And it was a Hangman Page Brian Keith squash. So to give Brian Keith a little bit more was really nice to see. These two obviously hit very hard, but Brian Keith's a very considerate wrestler with how he handles these things. And I thought this was a good example of that. The one thing that I wasn't huge on was Swerve playing into the finish.
Yeah, that's where are they going with this?
I don't know.
Like, I kind of feel like you're doing like the odd couple thing now, but it doesn't make sense because whatever. Not that I'm
Yeah.
mad, 'cause I like Swerve, but
Yeah, it's all just feels kind of thrown together. The match though, kind of what you want. Hard hitting, no bullshit. I mean, I don't really have much to complain about.
assuming we're gonna probably get a Hangman Swerve versus Big Bill and Brian Keith match.
I'll take that. I do Hangman Big Bill singles too.
Man, I fuck with Big Bill. All right.
Yeah, I'm glad these two are like back on Dynamite, Jericho free,
I
just
can't.
doing
I
their
can't.
thing.
Oh man, speaking of, put a pin on this for a second. Did you see like the stadium's not even built?
Yeah, and that's what
2 weeks
next
away.
week, 2 weeks away.
Oh,
Is Jericho debuting in the Saudi Rumble?
but that's the rumor. Because I legit thought he was gonna be there at the beginning of the year Raw, but he didn't
Yeah,
show
weren't
up
they like
there.
chanting for Y2J during a Lyra match or something?
Yeah, they were chanting for Y2J for a lot.
Jesus Christ. Oh man. You know what? They deserve each other.
Yeah, no, he's
Let it
perfect
happen.
there.
Let it happen. But
Unpin. We're back.
yeah. But yeah, no, Brian Keith, Big Bill, I think those are you could do a lot with them. I don't see AW committing to them fully, but I'm perfectly fine with them in spots like obviously we want a lot for them, but perfectly fine with what they're doing here. Something like Big Bill versus Hangman on Collision sounds like perfect to me.
Or if you're gonna do Big Bill, I think you probably go Big Bill Swerve at this point. Since you did you did Brian Keith versus Hangman, you probably go Big Bill versus Swerve.
Especially with what they filmed tonight.
Yeah.
Because Swerve was kind of the odd man out with the challenge. We'll get to that a little bit later. Then we got the town hall, right?
Yeah, very awkward town hall. But
Yeah, this whole thing was weird because there's this elephant in the room, and where it's like Hangman and Swerve are aligned still. They're this united front against Joe and against MJF. Joe and MJF are like not in the same conversation anymore, right?
yeah.
And Kenny enters the picture now. Swerve's not on good terms with Kenny. I'm going to ask you about that in a sec. Hangman and Kenny are on good terms. This is just a lot of mouths to feed. It feels like you got one foot in the door, one foot out with just about everybody except for Kenny, which, if Kenny's the focus, then just go with that right now. But also, they have a pay-per-view in Canada coming up. Not Revolution, but the one after.
Yeah.
A Kenny Swerve Hangman triple threat feels very universe mode to me.
Yeah, but then where's Samoa Joe come in the picture?
Then you still have Joe. Then the trio title. We gotta clean this up, man. We gotta do something about this because it feels like since Full Gear they have not had the main event scene figured out. Well, the short Eddie program was fine and the match ruled. So, but this is just—it's one thing to have a ton of people in your company where you can look at them and go, yeah, that would make sense if they're either challenging for the world title or are world champion. I think AEW has that. I mean, Bandito did not seem out of place tonight, right? This, though, from a writing perspective, this is a complete mess.
Jumbled. I don't understand any of it. Like, I don't understand why Hangman and Swerve are together because you haven't really touched upon that ever. And then now you're saying that both of you are going for the world title. Make that make sense. I mean, yeah, you're gonna it'll eventually unwind, but like right now it's just jumbled.
Yeah, I don't want to stay on this too long, but I do want to unpack Kenny's involvement here. Because he cut the pre-tape, or they aired the pre-tape it was either last week or 2 weeks ago. Kenny back in the world title scene is exciting to me because it feels like AEW saying, okay, one last shot, but we're not gonna just have him wrestling with his friends. We want Kenny Omega to have like a last Kenny Omega run, and I'm here for that. But what are you setting up here with his involvement here? Him and Swerve are now okay. Kenny Swerve, okay. Another. I'm sure we're gonna get one last Kenny Hangman at some point, but they don't do a winter tournament, or I guess like a late winter, early spring tournament. You have a spring tournament outright, and then you have like the holiday tournament. So it seems like they're setting up some sort of thing here where everybody's gonna have to go through everybody else to get the shot. But I just don't know if a triple threat is a good idea. Or a fatal four-way with Joe. You just did a fatal four-way for the belt.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't even know. Like later on, we figure out something, but like you said, that doesn't make sense because that leaves Swerve as the odd man out now.
And on top of all that, we're back to Kenny Omega and Don Callis.
Yeah, that's right.
Now to be fair, Kenny Andrade was probably going to happen in October.
Yeah, we gotta circle back to that, don't we?
I feel like that's a Revolution match. I really do.
As long as Andrade stays in the company.
Yeah, I mean, hey, he's booked on TV this week, or he was there tonight. Apparently, he wrestled on Helico, which actually sounds pretty sweet. So I'm gonna tune in for that. But yeah, I feel like they need to do this Don Callis gauntlet now and then just leave it. I feel like Kenny Andrade is the match, but I wouldn't be surprised if they pivot to Kenny Fletcher just to do it.
Alexander and Omega.
And you have about 6 weeks till Revolution?
I think so.
Let's take a look.
I know there's a large gap that we talked about last week. There's like a huge gap in between.
Yeah, and I think they need this though. Like, I understand that they have to fill so many shows for the Max thing, which is why we get the monthlies. But I think AEW's needed this gap to just for exactly what we're talking about now. They just got to clean shit up heading into this. And Revolution's usually one of their bigger shows, and has a really good track record. So AEW Revolution March 15th, so about 2 months actually, exactly 2 months by the time you hear this. So 7-8 weeks, you could do a whole lot with some one-offs, and then eventually settle on a pay-per-view opponent. So we will see.
Still jumbled.
Very. Now we get to Brody King, Honest John, which I like AEW doing standby matches. That's a very WCW thing, and it felt right for Brody to be on this card, given that tag team partners in the main event. And this is a clever little bit of booking here because Honest John Cruz, when he's in the Abe Lincoln getup, he's kind of MJF's liaison when he works CMLL. So this took him out of the match to prevent any interference.
Yeah. And it was also to give our guys some more TV time. And then, shout out to John Cruz because that man could sell his ass off.
Oh yeah, bumps like crazy for everybody. I loved him throwing his shoes before the match. That's just a great bit of bullshit. It's like, dude, you're dead. Brody should have just kept the jacket on too.
He did. Oh, I mean, like after the match too.
Yeah, he threw it off, but I'm just like, yo, just stay fitted up, man. But the long camo jacket's hard as hell. So
Camo and hitting somebody in a Gonzo bomb with a long camo jacket. Yeah.
yeah, dude, that's real. But not don't even break a sweat. Don't even take the entrance gear off. Just in and out real quick. Yeah, fun squash, and like I said, effective in the grand scheme because you're taking out interference for the main event.
Yeah. So it all works out.
A blunt rotation match of the evening.
Now it's time to put the kids to bed because the real dogs are out. Okay.
Doug, Don Callis family represented by the debuting Jake Doyle and Mark Davis. Jake Doyle, formerly Jake something.
My new favorite tag team.
I mean, it's just two very large individuals doing grown man shit, and it's awesome. I think for a showcase debut, I would have just done a
Squash
2-on-2.
match.
Yeah, just have them throw people around. But they still did their fair share of this in this match, taking on Jet Speed, Young Bucks, and our guys, Gates of Agony.
Big
This
meaty
was
men. Slapping
this was
me.
a mess. I'll be honest.
Oh, it was a
There was
clusterfuck.
yeah, there was a lot. There was a lot going on in this one, but not necessarily bad. I think just looking at the names, maybe I expected a little bit more, especially with like the years. Obviously last week we praised Jet Speed a whole bunch. The Bucks had a good bounce back in 2025. And Gates of Agony are getting more and more, which we like to see. But I just don't know if this necessarily came together. What do you got on this one?
Oh, it was a clusterfuck spot fest.
Mm-hmm.
But it's right up my alley because I've been on a PWG kick lately. But yeah, I mean, I liked it. It wasn't my still match of the night, Darby Pac, but not bad. It was awesome. I felt bad. Well, when the Young Bucks came out, I said, no, we're going to get Young Bucks and FTR again, aren't we?
I thought about it too because, we did a bunch of Jet Speed FTR last year. And you kind of figured a babyface was going to win because it's FTR, but no. They put the new guys over. The Bucks being back to the Bucks might take me a little bit getting used to because they've went through so many changes and they kind of were back to them just being the Bucks, but we kind of wanted them just to go back to being the Bucks, right?
Yeah, that's all we needed.
Yeah.
It was cool. Like
Broke Bucks was awesome, I thought.
Broke Bucks was funny when the founding fathers first started. It was pretty funny.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's getting that time. Just get back in there and do your thing.
Yeah. So the tassels are out, the headbands are back out. Thankfully, though, and I'll just say this: it's not that I hate FTR Bucks as a pairing. I think they've had some good matches, especially the second one for the ROH titles on Dynamite. But I don't know, like the Wembley matches weren't hitting for me, and it just seems like they're always like we got a lot of FTR Young Bucks in 2024, 2023, and 2024. So like I just think we needed to step away from it. But we are back to original alignment here, where it's babyface Bucks heel FTR like the first match. Even though I prefer it flipped, but regardless, we don't gotta talk about that because we're not getting that. We're getting Davis and Doyle. It's going to take me a little bit to get used to Jake Doyle.
Doyle. Sorry, see?
Yeah. What's my name? Doyle.
Or Doyle rules.
Or Doyle rules, yeah.
But yeah, the awesome, or the power bomb to Speedball onto everybody outside of the floor. And then, Davis hit Close Your Eyes. And I was like, yo, yeah, this is my squad. Give them the belts. Give it to them.
Yeah, Mark Davis needed this more than anyone.
That one spot with Speedball doing the Weapon X
Mm-hmm.
on when they were stacked up was pretty sweet too. I was more terrified for Speedball hitting the turnbuckle, but
yeah, I mean, there's all kind of things could have gone wrong, but I think they only blew like one or two things the entire match. But excuse me, Doyle Davis versus FTR. What does that look like?
Looks like Underhook match of the night.
Yeah, I know, but
no, but
I mean, Cash is gonna bump. Cash is gonna bump like crazy.
Yeah, they're all gonna. I mean, obviously, it's just waiting for Edge and Christian, right? Is this what we're doing? Like,
I think so, but I'm not gonna be mad because it's a very intriguing match on paper, especially with everybody kind of being heels. Do we get a Stokely Don Callis interaction?
We have to. Oh, we have to.
Yeah.
and they're both going to talk about each other being bald or something. It's going to be funny. It's going to be good.
Yeah. Is this booked yet, or is it just like confirmed?
I think it's just confirmed. They didn't book anything
Okay.
yet.
Because I would like to see some jaw jacking between the managers. Um. Yeah. Looking forward to that one, whenever that may be. But another good way to get these guys over as just monsters is but have them throw security guards around, and we got that too after the match. Come back from commercial, got a Sky Point moment for Bob Weir of the Grateful Dead. R.I.P. Another one of the old masters gone, unfortunately. But I did not realize he was a close friend of Tony Khan's. So
Yeah, honestly, I when they came back from commercial, they started playing different music. I was like, why are they playing this? It sounds to be Grateful Dead music, and then it was
yeah, yeah.
R.I.P. Big Dog. Not the big. I know nothing about Grateful Dead, but R.I.P. Man.
Um, yeah, me neither. I'm never been a Deadhead just because I never really listen to them, I'll be real, but game respects game, you know. One time I was going to a show at, God, what's the venue in Chicago called on the north side?
North Side, you said? Metro?
Yeah, Metro. Thank you. God, it's been a long time. It'll be 7 years ago. Went to Metro, ended up buying parking for Dead and Company by accident, but it was really close to Metro, so
Hell yeah.
they were at Wrigley that night. I was over at Citizen at Metro.
Such a different contrast.
Yeah, crazy, right? But um, yeah. But I remember we were like, they're like, "Oh, you're late." We're like, "No, we're not." They're like, "You going to this?" Like you just hear fucking noise coming from Wrigley. Like, nope, we're going this way.
We're going this way.
Yeah, but that's neither here nor there. Skyflight cut a promo. Zeta Steel's just in this faction now. This is a new development.
So, from what I seen on Collision, I think what's her name's hurt.
Layla Gray.
Yeah, so then this
Yeah.
is just she's filling in. She's doing a Roxana Perez vibe.
Yeah, with the substitution. I know she's been getting some matches on Ring of Honor, and I'm sure she's signed now if she's on Dynamite. But I have not watched a Zeta Steel match since her stuff in the early days of Marigold, and I'll just say that I'm gonna let the 2 year gap there, let it speak for itself.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Darius Martin, why is he so big now?
I've him. I don't know.
I said, my boy eating good.
Him and
But
Swerve got an AJ Styles number, and
I looked up, I was like, who is the guy? I didn't recognize him. I was like, oh, that's Darius. But yeah, I mean, hopefully they do something. I did chuckle and when they say that Josh Alexander is too focused on Kenny Omega that she won't be able to pay attention to them. Yeah, I'm gonna go on a limb and say you ain't got to worry about that, dog.
is he even in the match next week?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah. I know
Maybe.
Fletcher's like the guy on the other side. I'll have to look. I don't know. I mean, it's just nice to see these guys doing something again, though, because I still really like Top Flight, and like Scorpio Sky's been in purgatory / injury hell for so long now, so it's just good for them. Thought they were fine on the 3v3 on Collision, so good for them for just getting more to do.
Just get terrified every time I watch Dante Martin wrestle.
Yeah. Into hour 2 we go. The super team of Cosmic Babes of Wrath against Triangle of Madness. This felt like housekeeping because you need to get this Tekla stat thing going, and that's clearly where we're headed with Tekla winning. However, we're kind of back to a problem we had with the Tony Mercedes thing, where every single belt is tied up into one thing right now.
Yeah, we're back to square one again.
Every belt was on the one side, which is a cool visual, don't get me wrong. But it's like we got a Willow singles run to book here, so
Yeah,
like
she's with
get to it.
It's like, damn, you give her the belt, then you put her right back with Statlander, who's also a champion. Like, don't come.
Yeah, and Stat hasn't had too much to do since winning either, so I want to see what we do now because I think both of these reigns have to be a success. Like these are the two you need to build around.
I think you do is you're going to take the tag belts off and put them on Julia Hart and Sky Blue, and then that way, boom, that frees up that. I don't think Tekla beats Strat.
No, but I don't think so either. But they've been building to this match for a long time, and I don't want this to be a repeat of the Tekla Aminata feud where it felt like 6 months before they had a match.
Yeah, it's going to be at least 6 weeks or wherever.
Yeah. So I thought this was fine. The main takeaway was that just giving more reps for Willow and Harley as a team. Stat looked, it was stat. Coolest
I
little.
missed most of
little
this
bit.
match. I ain't even going to hold you.
The one spot I like out of Babes of Wrath a lot is Willow does a senton with Harley on her back, and
Okay.
it looks awesome. Like it's just like a hell yeah sort of thing.
Like a backpack senton, sort of?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, it's
Okay.
awesome. That
Hell
looks
yeah.
really great. But other than that, again, I understand this. This felt very like I hate to word it like this, but this felt like the obligatory women's match. And for how much you invested in the division last year, I think you need more than that.
Yeah, something. But,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
we'll get, like I said, like you said, it sucks convoluting all these belts into one. It's just, now you have all these webs of all the belts. You had the Monet situation all over again.
right. So that being said, I'm sure we're going to get a Tekla stat singles pretty soon, if not at the pay per view. But I don't know if you're gonna do 2 months of build for that. Well, I mean, sample size with the Aminata feud, maybe.
I'm saying you could if you build around, so you could build around, like, them, like Willow and Harley losing the belts. You can still build around that with Chris still being around to help. I don't know. You can get it. There's ways to do it.
Yeah.
Sucks, but
Yeah, we'll see. Now we get to this jet speed stuff, which as like if it was in a situation where Hangman's like, I want to take these belts off of Joe, I need to find two people. That would have worked a whole lot better. But it's like I feel like we should have just done the ops versus Hangman, Swerve, and Eddie at World's End.
that would have made more sense. But I feel like this is their way of putting some belts on Jet Speed. I feel like they're doing it, man.
I believe they're taping that tonight too. So
Or this is a way to, like, yeah, never mind. I was gonna say, like, Swerve and Hangman still feel really weird to me, like Swerve's calling the shot situation. So, like, I don't know. It's just weird.
yeah, it's all very weird because then Swerve kind of bigged up both guys, but he's not in the match. I don't know if it's going to drive some tension between Hangman and Swerve. We still haven't addressed why they're a team, but they're not really a team anyways. Like again, like I don't hate any of this, but the logic behind it, like
Well,
you got to do some gymnastics here.
well, I don't think this would cause a wedge because Hangman was the one that said he went to talk to Tony Khan. So, like, he wanted to do this. So that makes sense because he wants to take everything away from Joe. But why is.
Yeah, where it's like I don't know. I feel like you could have easily just done Hangman, Swerve, and a babyface. But I also feel like they're protecting Swerve and Hangman challenging for tag belts because I feel like they're going to challenge for the world tag titles at some point, rather. So, I mean, I'm sure we're going to have plenty of weeks to do the Charlie Day with all the red ropes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There is no Pepe Silva.
Then all of a sudden, it turns out that AEW signed all four of the Rascals.
All right.
Does this do anything for you?
I like them, but what do you do? Ring of Honor? Because that's what's going to happen.
I fear that's the case. I don't. I
And
mean,
hey,
I haven't
listen,
watched the Rascals in a while.
I'm not mad at anybody getting their bag. Ever.
Sure.
So hey, that's if they want an easier schedule and they want to go to the Ring of Honor and do some shit, cool. They'll be on Dynamite, their debut. So hey, or Collision at least. But
Yeah.
like, what do you do with them now? Like, you're just adding more people into an already deep, or no.
I feel like the last I've seen of them, I feel like I've caught some Myron Reed here and there in the Indies.
Yeah, I mean they're good. Like I like them. Wentz had a little weird trouble back, but I feel like that was not his fault. I don't know. I don't know what happened with that, but neither here nor there. What do you do with them? Like that's my thing. Like what do you just sign them so nobody else?
Well, my issue is, and this isn't to like blanket statement the AEW style, but I feel like you're bringing in four guys where you have a bunch of guys who kind of do what they do already.
Yeah. There's no like that doesn't. They're not the like you said not to hate on them, but like there's nothing that makes them different than the 50 other guys they have on their roster.
So it's a strange signing for me. It does make this TNA revival look a whole lot worse, which Not I'm not wishing for that by any means, but holy shit, like isn't their debut tomorrow
Yeah.
and they've lost like 6 to 8 people ahead of it?
Yeah, WWE ran their pockets.
Well, Jake something left, Killer Kelly left, Rascals are out. I think I saw Leon Slater's getting pulled from the episode
Okay, we
for
know where
for
Leon Slater. We know where Leon Slater headed. Like,
and rightfully dude, he
yeah,
should be on it. He should be on one of the major
man,
two.
you know who I. This is a total sidebar, but we only got one match left. Michael Oku, I went on TV, right?
I mean, he gets on AEW shows anytime they're over there. He worked the Ring of Honor show the night before All In. I feel like him and Amira are only a matter of time.
That dude is so fucking good. I just watched a match with him and Takeshita at Bola 23.
Good bumper, I would
Oh
say.
yeah, oh yeah. Him and Osprey had a banger match. Like their matches were dope.
I did not watch any of those because I feel like a lot of them went very long.
Oh, absolutely.
So and you know how I get all grumpy about that stuff, but I get like old man mode about it. But
Yelling at Cloud.
yeah, exactly.
I
I
feel
don't
like
want to turn I want to turn that show into this.
I feel that.
But I think Oku and Amira will both get picked up at some point, especially with like their proximity to Osprey and Alex Windsor.
We saw.
Windsor worked Stardom recently, and Osprey was there too.
Speaking of Stardom, did you? I see who they signed.
Yeah, they got Maki Ito, which very strange turn of events there, but good for her. Get that like you said, get the bag, get that Bushi Road money.
Look at my girl. Look at that.
Her and Cosmic Angels is just if that happens is so strange compared to like it's a whole other story, but a lot of cool moving parts in Japan right now. Sai Ida from Stardom's getting booked in Sendai Girls a bunch. I don't know if you saw the clip going around of her and Chihiro Hashimoto. It was like the grossest deadlift German you've ever seen.
Yes, I did. It was on Twitter. Or,
Yeah, I still need to watch that match. I will watch it before next week's show. Because that's the only reason why I didn't mention it. I just haven't gotten to it yet. But basically, now what they're doing is they're doing those two against Zones and Olympia from CMLL. And basically, they said, hey, let's get the most four musculars we can find and throw them into one match.
Zilla in there.
I think she's hurt right now,
Damn.
but there's some beast matches going on over there, so I will report back with that one. But yeah, a whole lot of cool stuff going on there. But otherwise, main event time.
Main event.
Bandito challenging Maxwell Jacob Friedman for the AEW World Championship. This did not blow me away. However, and I hate being all backhanded about MJF stuff like this was a whole lot less annoying than I thought it was going to be. And I actually thought Max was.
He actually worked a wrestling match.
Yes, he did. He worked a wrestling match. And I think he played to a lot of Bandito's strengths. So I thought this was decent. And I was pretty worried coming into it. You never know. With MJF, you never know. I'll just put it like that. But I think a lot of this also played into putting Bandito in a spot like this in Arizona. Like, yeah. Crowd was so behind him. And this was really AEW telling us, like, he's next. But we all kind of knew that already.
The runner-up for Wrestler of the Year 2025.
Yeah, and you're gonna see him get that one spot too in some other places, I feel like. So unless you're doing that whack shit where it's like wrestler of the year and then in-ring wrestler of the year, because like
Man,
in
that
my
shit
opinion
pissed me off.
it's the same thing, man.
It
Like
is. What's the fuck?
it's the same thing. Like do a highest earner thing or best on promos, like if you're gonna like differentiate it somehow. I don't know, to me it just feels
biggest merch draw. There you go.
yeah, to me it just feels like a slap in the face, because like why are you watching this shit? You know, if you're not watching for the best rest. Anyways, I didn't mind Max working the injured shoulder. I think that's a natural place to start. And Bandito's comebacks I thought were executed well enough. I kind of wish though, I just didn't feel like Max had a ton of heat in this match.
Nah, he was just working that wrestling match. Old school, you know, I did like the like you said, him working the shoulder, the handspring counter that, or so Bandito went to go do the handspring, the counter that MJF did, kicking him in the arm was pretty badass to me.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
The one arm press too.
yeah, one arm press was really good. Everything, and then the fling into the corner, just tossing them straight. Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, he didn't get no heat, but like you said, Arizona, you knew kind of what the crowd was going to be on. But it's just really weird that like he didn't get no like the crowd didn't really get.
He didn't go after the mask in the match. He
Yeah,
waited for the post match. That was really strange to me because that's like Lucha 101.
do that to get the heat, you know. But I will say that Bandito has one of the dumbest finishing moves just because of the setup.
It's getting really obvious now too. So I actually liked Max subverting that a little bit, where like in the early attempts he just kind of noped it. But I'm not. I don't know, man. 21 Plex looks cool when you do it, but I think they need to workshop that a little bit because it's like they're just sitting there and like you're not shooting around it. I feel like production could at least give you a hand with it. When you just see like a dude grabbing the ropes like that, it's like I do think you do need to. I'm not saying you need to can it entirely, but I think you need to workshop it a little bit to just be a little less contrived. I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, especially I noticed it more in this match because there was so many times where like MJF was sitting there. I was like, God, this is actually kind of annoying.
And it's like not for 2 seconds. It's like hard cam still shot for 10 seconds of him just sitting there. So
Bandito has to hit the gun pose every time.
yeah,
That's like, dude, figure it out.
yeah, some things to work on.
Use
But
that. What's the other movie does?
like the it's like the modified GTS.
Yeah, use that. Like the
I don't know.
XE.
I don't know if I don't think I'll let him use that for finish, but
Man, fuck it. Oh, they can
yeah,
do it.
yeah.
It's called. But I mean, I don't know. They need to do something because that 21 plex ain't cutting it.
Clearing the barricade was sick. That was awesome.
I thought he was gonna like what you call it, sabu it up the rope over, but
But yeah, triple jump.
yeah,
Man,
great Sasuke. That's what I was saying. Sasuke.
Sasuke special. That would have took over the barricade would have been nuts. Speaking of Sasuke, the whatever they call it, the intergalactic battle, that aired in Japan.
The new one.
Yes.
Let's go. I'm locking in.
I gotta see if it's on Wrestle Universe because Michinoku Pro does air their stuff on Wrestle Universe like just on a mad delay.
Yeah.
But you should be able to find it floating around.
I'm gonna lock
The
in
Space
for
War, wherever
that
the hell
one.
they call it. Yeah.
I am locked in. Yes.
Yes.
Let's
So
go.
put
Prepare
that
for
out
my
there.
next review on that one, guys. Don't worry.
Let's go. What do you think of the finish? I didn't mind it as far as putting him over, like strong in defeat.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
didn't pin him. He didn't tap. He still looks Bandito, still Bandito. You know, but like you
Yeah,
said,
and then
the aftermatch stuff didn't make sense. But
it's getting so heavy-handed, or of like them. You might as well just put on the screen. This is the next guy. Because when you have MJF put him over, when this is supposed to be no bullshit MJF, no more Mr. Nice Guy MJF, making Mystico bleed in Arena Mexico MJF. That was very strange. I understand beating him down and then Brody making the save. That all worked for me. Because then go off the air celebrating Bandito's performance. But like, or in that case, not necessarily performance, but he fought hard. That was strange. But I mean, how they went off the air, I didn't mind at all.
had my dog Brody King come back, add the speed shirt.
Yeah.
Shout out a gang called Speed.
Speaking of heavy music, they got Dying Wish for the opening. I forgot to mention that.
Pay attention to that. Let's go.
Yeah, which they're in that California crew that at least Emma Voster, she did Julia Hart's theme with Colin from Twitching Tongues. So, but to get a metalcore band on TV, that's always cool. Again, make your money, especially in these days where the music industry is all fucked up. So good for them. Yeah, good for them. But that was AEW Dynamite. I think it was a tale of two halves. But after
so much
watching that first half after last week's kind of nothing burger, I'm like, all right, we're back. Like, it's time to lock in. Like, they knew kind of everybody was easing into 2026. And, like, a ton of people were also in Japan, even if they weren't booked. Like, I know Tekla was there. I know Willow was there. Obviously, Kenny was there, too. So, maybe they're just kind of waiting for an all-hands-on-deck thing. And much better, I thought.
A lot better. Last week's show not that great. This one, step up.
Yeah, definitely a step up. Hopefully they can continue picking up some momentum. I'm honestly cool with just the rhythm of just getting, let's just do just TV for 2 months. I've been enjoying just putting on Collision whenever, and they're doing the residency at the esports arena too.
Yeah, I love that. That's one of my favorite arenas for Collision.
Yeah,
That's like the
so
way it looks.
so they're doing well. Obviously tonight they taped it, but I believe maybe they'll be back. Maybe the residency's over. Don't quote me on that, but we'll see. But only things announced for next week for Dynamite, because obviously they're probably just wrapping up Collision taping as we speak. Kenny Omega versus Josh Alexander, which I feel like that's a match long in the making ever since he signed about 10 months ago.
Just getting us to that Andrade Kenny Omega match.
Yeah. So we will talk about Dynamite next week in its entirety and whatever else we get to. I'm definitely going to lock in on that Hashimoto Saito match because that looks insane.
Yeah, I'm gonna lock into that match you told me with the Fishman.
Yes, and that one was on YouTube, so it's a lot easier to find.
Hell yeah.
I'll link you that after this.
Yes, sir.
But I think that just about does it for this Power Hour. Good to be back into our usual swing. We had a big break, and then we had the special, which don't get me wrong, I had a ton of fun with, and head back to the archives if you haven't heard that one yet. But we're back to normal, and hopefully we'll be back next week doing the very same.
I'll be here, my friend.
Well, with all that being said, Chris, do you have anything to plug?
I got nothing, but actually, in a couple weeks, Bino is going to be in Mishawaka. So we're hosting our first tournament there. Forgot, it's called Hop Station, I think, in Mishawaka. I think us, Ohio Bino's coming, so it's going to be a good time.
Yeah, because that's not too far away from the border, right?
Yeah, no, it's like, I think it's like a couple hours from them or something, at that hour and a half maybe.
Okay, yeah, I'll see what's going on. I think Mill has a show with the truck drivers either that night or the night before, but I'll see what's going on. But hell yeah, shout out to Bino stuff. I'm gonna make it to one of them one of these days, with everything going on. But so if you're in the area, check it out. Play some Bino, have a good time. I do have a video to plug because I'm back on the YouTube for what seems like forever. I canned the big list just because I just had so much going on, and I had like 6 months worth of footage to get to, and I didn't want to drop no match of the year list in the summer again. That sucked. The video doesn't suck, I don't think, but just the whole being that behind sucked. So I picked one match from every month that I really liked and that I've seen, talked about it. It's about 26 minutes, and that's on the Matches Worth Watching YouTube as we speak. And now I'm back in the lab watching a ton of ECW, and we'll be following up accordingly. So we're back on the pod. I'm back on the YouTube. Chris is back on the Bino. Let's go.
I'll start doing my own content here in the
Yes,
near
sir.
future.
Yes, sir. So whenever that will be, we look forward to it. We'll be definitely plugging it on here. With that being said, if you got this far into the episode, thank you so much for listening. We'll talk to you again next time.
See ya.